Cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna...
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant from NFL Network.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up, yeah. Go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves up.
What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network. It is September 1st, and that means only 5 more days until NFL kickoff is here next Thursday, or this Thursday. This Thursday, we're here. It's Monday. We're here. Football week is here, man. Week 1 is here. So let's do this, man. Or not Monday. It's Friday. I don't. What day is it? Friday? Monday? I don't even care.
Friday. It's Friday for another 45 minutes or so.
There we go for you. All right, man. So what's up, everybody, man? Hope you guys are enjoying your Friday nights, man. Hope you guys are all getting right over here. Can't wait for this Lions-Chiefs game, man, this Thursday. So excited. It was a great start, especially for fantasy, getting Mahomes and Kelsey and all these guys on the field. So that's going to be a lot of fun, man. So can't wait to check it out.
Come on now.
Yeah,
you got some credit.
Yeah, we got Goff. I mean, I got a lot of Goff shares. We got ARSB out there. We got Gibbs. Everyone's excited to see him. Our first rookie we'll be able to see. Got Laporta going on, man. I'm excited, dude. It's gonna be a lot of stuff going on, man. So of course tonight, for those of you guys who don't know, we're gonna be doing our mock draft Tournament of Champions finale. These are the best of the best drafters that have been mocking all month. They've had to go through 2 brutal rounds. Some had to go through more to make it here to this final round mock, which is actually going to be dropped into a best ball league. So we're actually going to do a full 18 rounds here tonight, and they're going to actually play this out. So we're not going to be grading it. It's not going to be subjective. It's going to be however it turns out, man. So winner of that's going to take home the $50 cash prize. Hopefully it gets bigger here as we start to grow. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe and like button if you want a bigger prize next year. Help us get over 1,000 subscribers, man. We're almost there. So come help us out if you're watching. Hit that subscribe button. We got the 12 drafters ready to go in the lobby now. So we're going to get that thing started here soon. But like we said, it is going to be in 18 rounds, just like the underdog settings. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex, 10 bench spots. And like I said, it's all underdog settings. Half PPR, 4 point per passing touchdown. Is the scoring for that. So we will definitely be getting that going. And for those of you guys who aren't on Underdog already, make sure you guys go check them out, underdogfantasy.com. They have a bunch of different, best ball drafts going on, a bunch of different tournaments that they're running, just like the Best Ball Mania 4. It ends on Thursday, man. So if you haven't got in there and got your picks in, you can do that now. Of course, a lot of the injuries and things that we'll be talking about here today maybe gives you the best chance to take home that $3 million team, man, and draft that $3 million team, which is going to be for first place, $2 million to second, $1 million to third. As I've been saying, they're making 3 millionaires this year. So hopefully someone here from Get Right, preferably myself, but at least one of you guys, or even Mike, maybe he'll give me 20 bucks. Maybe he'll throw me 20 if he takes one down. So make sure you guys go check it out and use that promo code Get Right when you do. Not only will you get the 100% deposit match when you make a deposit up to $100, you will also qualify for the new Pick'em line. It's a mystery Pick'em line. So when you do sign up, it will be a mystery Pick'em. So make sure you head over to the Pick'em spot there. And I believe they even have a site-wide right now for plus or minus a half a receiving yard for Patrick Mahomes right now. So it's basically a gimme. They're giving you a gimme, man. So that's easy money. put that together with a couple other picks, the higher lowers, the rivalries, and hopefully you guys can take home some winnings there. So, of course, make sure you game responsibly and use that promo code, Get Right. So, what else do we got here? Oh, yeah, and of course, unfortunately, they're not available in a couple spots. We'll bring up the map. You can pause it on that to check it out. But again, make sure you guys use that promo code, Get Right. All right, so let's get this thing started, man. Let's bring up the mock here, Classic, if you can. I know the guys are anxious and ready to go here in the mock. So tonight we'll, of course, have the mock going on. We'll be commenting on that as we get it going. Of course, we're always taking questions from you guys in the chat, so make sure you drop any questions that you have in your chat. Review of your team. We'll probably do start sit more on Wednesday, and of course on Friday we'll do our full start sit show. On Monday we're gonna do our waiver shows, trade shows on Wednesdays. Like I said, start sit on Fridays, and then Classic Mike will have his active, inactive, and last minute start sit Q&A Sunday morning leading up to the Sunday morning kickoff. So without any further ado, I know these guys are ready. Let me let them get going. I'm going to give them a quick little warning here. So hopefully you guys are all watching, but we're going to get this thing started. So let's say here we go. So the mock is going to get started. Good luck to everybody in there. We'll definitely cover who's getting going in there. In the one spot, we got Raffy Bomb. We have Awesome Eckler at the 102. We got our boy Wilson here at the 103. Nick Rock 104. The one, the only Jeezy ACG here at the 105. Lord of Fanta at the 106. Flag RJ at the 107. You got JWN here at the 108. Our boy Tim from the Fantasy Frontline here at the 109. Cherry Poppins here at the 110. You got Josh J at the 111 and Uno Goss at the turn at the 112. Congratulations to you guys, man, for making it. It's going to be awesome. Oh, Eckler autoed on us already? That's not good, man.
Oh, no.
You better get back here because if you auto twice, man, you're going to automatically be disqualified. Well, I guess not. It's going to play out, so I guess we'll see.
I would double check.
We'll see what happens.
He's green. He might have just
might be glitching.
Yeah, I think he might be glitching there, just because he's green on my screen and he's autoed, which means he might not have gotten he might not have gotten the notification. So that's definitely possible. So
absolutely.
I'm
messaging him right now. You can take away the show right now. You got it.
You're good. All right, cool beans. So let's continue on. So we're going to talk about some news and notes. We also have some questions in the chat as well. Maybe we'll answer this question first because this is a fun one. So Randy Miller, hey man, what's going on, man? He goes, is Pollard at the 108 PPR, full PPR, I'm assuming, too high? What do you think?
I would say yeah, because he's normally kind of going around that 2-3 turn. Late second, I would say probably the earliest I'd be willing to take him in a 12-man league. To me, 108's a little high. There's definitely 8 other guys I'd take before Pollard in a PPR league.
Yeah, I would agree as well. I mean, I wouldn't mind taking him at the beginning of the second or mid second, just because I understand his what they're going to use him for, and he should get the plenty of touch. But for now, I can't take him at the 108. I just wouldn't feel comfortable.
Awesome.
So, all right.
A little too risky. I mean, go get your guys though. I mean, there's nothing, but it's just you could probably still get them later. You could pick 108 and then get him in the second round. With the 20. What is that? 4? 8, 9, 10, 11, 205.
Yeah, you can definitely get him at. You could get two high quality guys. He's more on the lower tier of RB1.
Yeah, not a bad play, but I mean, I just don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But also, I did a real draft $100 buy-in that I did Wednesday, and someone took Joe Burrow in the first round in your home league. So again, depending on your home league, like maybe Tony Pollard at the 108 works. But go ahead, read it off. I'm still trying to work on our special guest we have coming on later. So yeah.
Sorry, I'm running two things at once. So we got Mason going. I was drafting a money Superflex keeper league. I had to go pick up my wife because she missed the bus after work and forgot it was keeper. My second and third round picks were Kupp and Henry. F my life. At least I got Josh Allen. I wouldn't stress too much about that. I mean, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes with everything surrounding the
Perfect
news about
segue.
Kupp. But yeah, that is a pretty good segue into one of the news and notes. So for those who don't know, I think it was Thursday. There was, actually before that on Monday, Cooper Kupp returned back to practice, and they then had a conversation with Sean McVay later on Thursday. And, apparently McVay said that Cooper Kupp suffered a setback with his hamstring injury. So McVay said it's tricky. There's a difference between return to play and return to performance. We want to return to performance for Cooper Kupp, and we know how special of a player, how special of a person he is. Well, we want to make sure that we are smart with and getting him back to feeling like Cooper Kupp. We all know, and and that he has the ability to play and the capability whenever that is. Whether that's September 10th or not, we'll continue to monitor that and control what we can. So I guess the big question is for all those people that are currently in the process of, this is the highest, this is the week to mock your team, or not mock, draft your team. A lot of people are trying to figure out what to do. So for those who are drafting this week, where would you feel comfortable drafting Cooper Kupp?
So in my home league, granted it's standard non-PPR, so that's going to make a little difference on that. But for me, he fell to I was 109. Took Bijan, and then Kupp was still sitting there when it came around at the 204. I couldn't pass him up at that point at the 204. Yeah. Obviously, 2 days later, and this is the league that the Rasta Reaper was born. So basically everybody on that team is basically cursed at this point. So again, I drafted on Wednesday with that league, drafted Kupp 209. And I think that news came out the very next day. That he had the setback. So as of now, I mean, I'd probably say more like at the 2-3 turn. But for me, if you want to take him anywhere really in the second, if he's fallen to you after you kind of get your anchor, stud first player, to me, he still has one of the highest ceilings of any player when he is right as far as points per game. Mm-hmm. So again, you just kind of weigh that out. Soft tissue injuries are tough because it's so high of a risk of re-injury. So obviously that's a big concern. It's just something you gotta, again, it just depends on your risk, your risk factor. If that's the risk you're going to take, then so be it. But you just have to be careful. You can't be taking like Brees and Javonte and, some of these other guys, later on, if you're going to kind of put your eggs in that basket. But when he comes back, if he's the same guy, his ceiling is higher than almost any player out there.
Oh, completely agree. I mean, for me, it's probably a little bit more towards the beginning of the third. I'd probably hope that he gets to the 211 or like 212 if I'm in that spot. I want to have a little bit of insurance, so that's why I would say to wait till then. We have Josh J here drafting him at the 202. Which it's not horrible. I mean, I have no problem with somebody doing that because of his ability. He could be back out, in week 2. But from the way what we just talked about and the way that we, that Sean McVay put it, it seems like he's not coming back until at least week 3. And that's honestly just a gut feeling. I'm preparing myself to, I own him in 2 leagues. I'm in it wasn't really anything more, one was a keeper league and one was a dynasty league. But either way, I'm in the particular boat where I'm like, okay, I'm just anticipating it being 3 weeks instead of more. Being less, I hope that it's not anything more than that because he didn't go on the IR. So for me, we'll see. But I really do think realistically, It's going to be more like 3 weeks. But I could be wrong. I really could. So Randy asks another question with who are you guys targeting at the 108? CD, Bijan, if he falls, Diggs, Amon-Ra are on my radar. So I agree. For me, it's Bijan.
Rank him. Yeah, I was going to say rank him.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Bijan, Diggs, Amon-Ra, and then CD. Or no, I'm going to go CD, Amon-Ra.
Yeah, so if it's a full PPR, I'm probably going, again, just depending on how you prefer your builds. I'm either going Bijan or Diggs, again, just depending on if you want to go double tap wide receiver. If you feel like if you like those guys that are available, rounds 5 through 9, as far as running backs, and you're comfortable with that, if you feel like you need that anchor type RB, then I'd go Bijan. Bring that back up. So I'd go Bijan. Like I said, I got him 109 and came back around and grabbed Kupp because he was there. In full PPR, I'd go Bijan, Diggs. Then I would go Amon-Ra and CD. If it was half PPR, then I swap CD and Amon-Ra. Put CD ahead of Amon-Ra in half or standard.
Okay. No, that's fair. Yeah, I like that either way. I mean, I do think that in that particular spot, I like that spot a lot. The 7-8 spot is pretty much like I drafted my Scotty Fish in the 7th, and I liked that spot. Like it just felt like I got a lot of good from that. So we got Rafi saying sleepers freezing randomly for different people is the reason for autos. Yeah,
Ooh.
I know. Yeah,
Just
talking about what happened. Just always
can't pop in and out. Yeah. And just stay in it. Once you're in the draft, just stay in there for this next hour or so. It could be worth $50 of your time. Don't multitask.
No, don't multitask. But I will tell people one way to do it and a little trick. If you get to your pick at let's just say you're more towards the ends, you're better off waiting until you get your second pick in and then reset or set your queue while you're doing that, just in case. Because they're only 30-second picks, so you got to be ready. So there was other news that happened as well. I mean, this week was cut week. We had the first week that everybody got their cuts. That everyone's down to their 53-man roster now, so everybody is ready to go. We had a couple of teams. Preseason games weren't anything exciting. There wasn't any real craziness that happened. Marvin Mims had a good game. A few other rookies had a good game. But other than that, it's now time for the real stuff. So they cut everybody down. For me, the only big surprise, was Myles Gaskin. He got cut. One of my favorites, my flag plant from
our favorite
from 2 years ago. It was our favorite flag.
We both had him, and we kept starting him the same week, and then he'd be a dud, and then we sat him, and he'd go off, and then we start him again, and he'd dud out.
Back
it was awful.
And forth. It is what it is. But for me, it was really, really weird because the next bit of news is that Jeff Wilson went on IR on Wednesday. They cut him on Tuesday. So it makes me feel like they knew about the injury beforehand. Like, why would you cut the guy otherwise? But I'm not their GM. I don't know anything going on, but it's just weird. Jeff Wilson is currently dealing with a some type of injury compounded to some finger issues. He just couldn't protect himself or, do anything to, basically hold on to the ball. So he's going to be on IR for the first three. I
heard something like he couldn't protect himself or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it's basically. The words out of McDaniel's mouth was misdissection injury compounded by some finger issues. We made an assessment. He couldn't protect himself and he couldn't be himself the way we know him to be. I wouldn't be surprised if he would make a return this season. We will let his body tell us. So he's dealing with something in his hand or something like that. So with that being said, this means that, Raheem Mostert is probably most likely the lead back. They have David Achane. I almost got it. He's also battling some injuries right now at the moment. So do these guys in any shape, way, or form bump up in your rankings for drafting this weekend? I mean, He's pretty much, I think Mostert's in the 10th round roughly. A-Chain is probably just with some people before that, if it's PPR. So, I mean, are either one of these guys going up? Do you feel like they're even worth drafting? Are you avoiding them? What do you think?
Yeah, so in our listener league draft, which I'll refer to here just because we're going to have a special guest, our winner coming on from last year, to join us here a little bit later once we get done with the mock to recap our listener league draft. But he went at the 212 there. A-Chain's been someone I haven't really been targeting, but like if he's kind of there, I'm okay. He just doesn't really fit the builds that I usually have. Just because, again, at the time, there was 2 running backs kind of ahead of him, so to speak, plus all the talk with the potential Jonathan Taylor trade. And before that, it was the Dalvin Cook trade. So I kind of was just kind of staying away from everybody in Miami because obviously the Miami brass is kind of saying they're definitely not happy with the people they do have, which, again, included our boy Myles Gaskins, Gaskins. I have to call him Gaskins. I know Tycoon's going to kill us for that.
I know. But he had a really good preseason.
Yeah, so it's that's why it was like I'm just not sure what they're looking for.
They kept Salvin Ahmed instead of him, which I didn't understand either. They're both pretty much complementary players to each other. They're the
free
same.
Gaskin.
Yeah, like come on. I just didn't understand it. I was a little disappointed in their thought processes, but it is what it is. I'm not their GM. But for me, I think Mostert is a good late round if you're a 0 RB type build guy. I think he'll do you well for at least the first 4 weeks, get you through what you need to. He's had his own share of injuries. So
Mostert's my guy.
Hey, I'm telling you,
he's my guy.
I don't mind Mostert.
He's just 31 now. He's just 31. And our reigning champ took him, so maybe he knows something. And again, like you said, A-Chain went 212 in our listener league, and Mostert went 14-6.
Yeah.
So, and he's the starter right now. So,
and it's really funny. So a little bit of fun with Mostert. When I play Madden and I make my team, I always picked Mostert when I did a draft. Like I would do a fantasy draft to do my franchise, and I'd start from scratch, and he would be the guy that I always get because he was just quick and explosive, and he was the fastest guy in the field. I understand he's older now, but you can always decrease their age as they go. So I kept him forever. I'm only joking around a little bit, but for this particular stuff, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. This offense is very good. I'm a little nervous about Tyron Armstead, their left tackle. He's been having more injury issues, which is kind of a big deal. But they're pretty good they're pretty good in their interior line. So I feel like he'll be okay overall. So we'll wait and see. But for me, I tend to, if he's there, I'll take him. But 9 times out of 10, I pretty much go, not worth my time. So I can move right on. So we have Mason going. I won my keeper league with Gaskin as my RB1. To be fair, I also had Debo, Amon-Ra, Mark Andrews, and Elijah Mitchell, I'm assuming, the weeks he blew up before his injury. I got Debo in the 9th, and Amon-Ra was my last pick. Nice. Yeah, I had that happen with me as well. I ended up winning the last week of the season to be in 3rd place, going against Alvin Kamara, his 52-point game that he had. I ended up winning with Gaskin, David Montgomery, and Jeff Wilson as my 3 running backs. I'll never forget that. I remember sitting on Christmas Day, looking at my team, the team I was facing, and them having Kamara, and I just sat there and I lost, and I ended up beating him pretty good. So that was
it off.
Yeah, that was fun.
You lucky guy.
That was
lucky guy.
That was definitely luck.
Look at Awesome Eckler taking Dotson in the 6'11".
That's a little early for me.
Let's go. That's even early for me, and I love the guy.
Oh, me too. I mean, it went.
Ooh.
Deontay, and then it went Dotson. I mean, that's pretty much most of my teams.
Man. Yeah, I know you took in our league. You took him in the 5th. I was like, whoa.
No, I took
DJ
Johnson.
in the 5th.
Well, I took him in the 5th because the rankings on Yahoo for ADP had him as the next wide receiver off of the board, and he was literally the next person to go. And I'm like, well, okay, and then it gave me an F, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? Thanks, Yahoo. Like, come on. I want to talk to the Yahoo ADP guy. Like, this is ridiculous. And honestly, he should be around that point anyway. He's gonna be the steal of drafts this year. He really will be. I mean, I'm trying to get him right now from KJ Flint, and he's not budging. And I gave him a really fair offer. We'll wait and see how we'll wait and see how it goes. But more news that we got. I mean, we already talked about Kupp, so we're gonna move right along to another running back scenario that we have going on, and that is Jonathan.
Ooh, Rafi was about to take him, and he got sniped.
Oh, he got sniped.
Sniper in the building. Let's go.
I like it. We're going to talk about Jonathan Taylor. So, for those who don't know the fun, oh, wait, what?
Yeah, you said Jonathan Taylor, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we're going to talk about this fun story. So, since we last left off, we were here last Friday. They offered him a trade. They said, hey, go out there. You have till Tuesday. Do what you can. Okay. So they listened to some offers. A lot of teams decided to throw their hat in the ring. From most of the reports, it looked like the Packers and the Dolphins were the two main bidders from what we saw. Based on the reports, it seems like Irsay was asking for insane offers for like Waddle and a high draft pick for, from the Dolphins. That's the one we've heard. So he had until 4 p.m. on Tuesday to do that. They had until Tuesday to either trade him or to take him off the IR. Both those things ended up falling through. So right now, JT is on the IR, which means he won't be back until week 5. The Colts might still listen to offers, but they only have until week 8 to, for that trade deadline. I mean, this is such a horrible scenario. I know we've talked about it a few times off air. I know we've talked I've talked to Tycoon about it offline as well. So, I mean, it's one of those things where we're just sitting here like, why do you continue to just be toxic? And it just now seems personal. Like at first it was business and it seemed like that for a minute. And then all of a sudden it just became personal. I warned people in the beginning of this, like the last few weeks, like, hey, this doesn't look good. Like out of the 3 guys that were left, with Josh Jacobs, Barkley, and all that, JT was the one I was scared of the most. Like he was the one that I was nervous that something might happen. And to be honest, I mean, it's now he's not playing for the first 4 weeks. So with that being said, do you feel comfortable drafting him at all? Are you avoiding him altogether? Do you have any interest in any of those Colts running backs? Deion Jackson, Zach Moss, Evan Hall? No, nothing.
No. I've been off on, and it has nothing to do with anything you just said. Well, it has everything to do with everything you just said, but I seen it like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And of all the running backs, if you guys remember, I was like, he's like you said, like he was the one I've been worried about this entire time. Not only just because of that, but the fact that he was still saying he's still hurt, which was, again, they were kind of thinking.
Remember,
no, it was the back, not the ankle. The ankle is why he's on the pup. Yeah, the back wasn't. That was the whole thing that came from Irsay and that whole thing. When he said about, everyone can be replaced, I'll be replaced, you'll be replaced. And they tried
him as ankle and back on the IR.
That's interesting. They're going to have an investigation about that. But so to me, he was the one I was worried about most. And it was more so just because of the offense. Like, I just didn't think they were going to be a great offense. Anthony Richardson, great athlete, everything like that. But again, that's why I've been down on Pittman. I'm down on, Alec Pierce, down on Josh Downs, down on, AR could potentially be like the Justin Fields of last year, or his rookie year, so to speak, and kind of have a little breakout, if you want to say, because of the rushing, not because of the passing. Mm-hmm. I've been saying all offseason, especially on Pittman. I've sold him in both dynasty leagues. I think I sold him to you in one of
You
those leagues because I'm just out on him.
I cared about the other part of that.
Yeah,
trade.
you wanted Sanders and I'll take CMC all day in that trade.
Well, you were getting CMC from someone else. Let's just
it was a three-way. We went family style on that one. Yeah, so it was. You know what I'm saying? It was just, to me, it kind of worked out to where I was targeting Pittman. That's why I had him on 2 of my 4 dynasty teams. But once they made the trade and then obviously drafted AR, I was just kind of I'm trying to get out ahead of it. So again, I don't know. It just seems kind of basic fantasy football to me. I like players that are part of good offenses. It's literally just as simple as that. I try not to overthink things too much sometimes. I think a lot of the times in this space, people get too analytical, looking at ADOT and yards per route run and targets this and that and this and that. And it's you can just look at football and be they're not going to put points up on the board. They're not able to move the ball. So I'm just out on basically that offense. And Indy is one of those offenses for me, unfortunately. So, or fortunately, because, hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong on JT. But for me, I have him ranked as my RB12 right now currently. Just because, again, if he ends up kind of playing, but I still want to even move him down even farther than that. I probably will maybe over these next couple days when I really, start to dive into it. But, it's just, I guess people are doing their drafts, here this weekend. So I got to make sure I get this done today. GetRightFF.com for our rankings, our pre-draft rankings there. To use our list. But yeah, I'm pretty much at a point to where I'll just let him be somebody else's headache. Fantasy's hard enough just dealing with normal injuries and normal usage and breakouts and busts. Anybody that already has baggage, I'm not avoiding all of them, but if you have to spend I want the most predictable picks that I can get in the first 3 or 4 rounds, if I can. And if I am going to take a chance on somebody how I took Kupp in the 2nd round, again, he was healthy at the time that I took him. I didn't take him. He was back. He had been back, been practicing, didn't suffer any setbacks when I drafted him in the 2nd. So I thought he was good, already sitting out almost a whole month. But again, that just kind of shows you just why risk, why take that risk? I'll take risk in the middle rounds because, again, that's when it could pay off for you. But if you lose a guy up top, within your core, your first 4 picks, it's really hard to recover from that. So I'd rather, there's so many guys in that range that you can go that have similar upside with less baggage. And that's just how I prefer to play fantasy.
Okay. So I want to ask this question because I was just looking at I'm looking at my own rankings. I'm taking a second to kind of get an idea of things. So would you take Jonathan Taylor or Javonte Williams?
Neither. You pick the 2 people that I'm literally just avoiding, not even fading. I'm just avoiding.
Jonathan Taylor or Alexander Madison?
Madison, easily.
Okay. What about James Cook or Jonathan Taylor?
I'd honestly take James Cook.
Okay. Kenneth Walker.
That's crazy. You're helping me actually right now. Ken Walker, I'd take Ken Walker. He's dealing with the groin, something similar, and he has a split backfield with Sharps. That's where it's getting closer. That's a little more of a coin flip. So yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you're getting there. So go ahead. What's the next one?
Cam Akers.
I'd take Cam Akers because no competing back, terrible offense. But again, we're talking RB 20 something at this point. So
Miles Sanders.
I'll take Miles Sanders all day. I have Miles ahead of almost everyone you've mentioned so far.
So this one I know the answer, but I kind of want to see where you're at.
Yeah, we got to do it for the people.
Breece Hall.
Same with Javonte, avoiding both of those guys. Yeah,
I'm in the same boat.
Fair enough.
Trying to think. Travis Etienne.
Etienne. Oh, Etienne all day. Not even. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know why I hesitated. I hesitated because Jeezy said, Rasta, take a sneak peek at your text. So, a little full disclosure, I was sneaking a peek at my text while you said that. So, go ahead.
Rashad White.
Rashad White. I'm taking White all day over him.
Gibbs?
I would take a shot on Gibbs, and I haven't really drafted much of Gibbs because I'm more of a Demont guy based on my builds.
Oh, of course,
because you have to kind of take Gibbs as your RB1.
D-Mont was going to be my next one.
Yeah, I'll take D-Mont.
All right. What about James Conner?
I'll take Connor. I'll take Connor, actually.
So if you're going based on that, okay, I'll ask my
That's
last
like what, RB30 now that you said that? I'm literally going.
I was going to go to J.K. Dobbins.
I'll take. I have Dobbins almost ahead of a lot of those guys you mentioned, ahead of Akers, ahead of Cook. Right now, I have J.K. Dobbins as my RB15. Actually, I have him right after Gibbs. Gibbs 14, Dobbins 15.
Yeah, no, I don't even have him close to that. All right. So based on what you're saying, it was close to RB 29, 30.
Yeah, I think, and I'm moving him down right now.
That's great.
So I have right now Dalvin Cook at RB 28. I have DeAndre Swift at 29. And I think I take him about right there before Pacheco that I have at 30. So I'm going to move him right now as my RB 29.
You have Pacheco at 30?
Yeah, I have Pacheco at 30.
Hey, I mean, you do you. That's crazy. I thought he'd be a little bit higher.
Kansas City they don't use their running backs, man. I got Mahomes and Kelsey up top.
Yeah, still. Anyway, no worries. All right, cool beans. So that was a good exercise to see exactly how far he's fallen. In our particular best ball draft, he went to the 602, which honestly isn't horrible. It's great value. I mean, you're getting a steal there for a top. He's a top 5 guy when he's actually playing. I agree with you on most points about the Indy offense as a whole. I do think that Pittman's going to have a hard time this year, just as a whole. I don't think he's going to go any higher than wide receiver 25, maybe. I mean, that's where the line is for him. I mean, I think the highest a rookie quarterback has produced for a wide receiver is wide receiver 18 or 19, I think it was. I don't remember who the names are or whatever. I just remember looking at the stat and remember seeing that it was wide receiver 18 or 19, for a rookie quarterback. So honestly, it's one of those scenarios where if you don't feel if your mark is wide receiver 20 for a rookie quarterback, let's just say for any of the wide receivers on the team, and wide receiver 20 is that the highest mark possible, makes me feel like there's no way that he's going anywhere close to that, in my opinion. Could he do okay? Maybe. But I think it's going to be, like you said, a Justin Fields type year like last year, where it's, 90% run and 10% throwing.
1,200 passing yards. 1,000 rushing yards.
Exactly. So, I mean, could he do something like that? Of course. And that gave him,
and that'll make him like QB7.
Well, yeah, that's what he was. That's exactly where Justin Fields was. It was QB7. So, I mean, that makes him pretty good. But at the end of the day, it's all the rushing stats. And, I'm still out on Anthony Richardson. I'm more on him for Dynasty than I am for Redraft. Redraft, I'm not touching him with a 10-foot pole. Would I want to take a flyer on someone like Michael Pittman? I might, but as like a wide receiver 4 that's sitting on my bench. So, for something like that, yeah. But for JT, man, I'm just avoiding, in Redraft. I have to in Dynasty. Like, I have him in Dynasty. I have to kind of play with it and make sure that I can find a way to make it work. So either way, I'm fine. But for Redraft, I want to avoid the headache. I mean, Josh J., more credit to you. You're drafting Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor. Your first few weeks are going to be miserable.
It is his RB3, though, but yeah, it is going to be a little tough on the wide receiver range.
You're going to just have a really rough couple, first few weeks. And he picked up Pittman too.
Yeah. So, well, and again, not to just rag on you here, Josh J, but you grabbed 2 tight ends before you grabbed a 5th wide receiver here in a 3 wide receiver in a flex half PPR league. Those of you guys who do draft with us here on underdogfantasy.com. And when you do, make sure you use that promo code GetRight if you haven't already. There you go. Well done. But yeah, so you'll see when you draft in those, man, it's wide receiver heavy. You'll see people take 5 straight wide receivers. If you guys remember me from last year, shout out to Ron Stewart. If you guys watch his channel over there, a lot of the times, he's always saying, fill your wide receivers +1, wide receivers and the flex +1. So basically you kind of want to take that hero RB build. You want to grab at least your 5 wide receivers, get your onesie positions, but before you start, pulling those other running backs, you want to make sure you fill your three wide receivers in a flex plus one extra guy before you start, hammering the rest of those guys there. Again, maybe might not be the right formula for this year, but again, it makes me feel comfortable. And going back to JT before you get to this next question by Barry.
Sure.
Oh, you can leave it up. I was just going to be real quick because I wasn't done about JT and my stance on him. I just wasn't big on him at all because even when he was the RB1, it was only because McCaffrey was hurt, Henry was hurt, everybody was hurt. Like all the top running backs were hurt. He had one of the worst statistical RB1 seasons in fantasy in like the last 10 years. Like it was not even really that good. Like he was RB1 by default, and then he just was the 101 pick the following year. And I was screaming everybody it should have been McCaffrey, and that we went back and forth. You had him ranked like RB17 or something crazy. I was like, Mike, this guy's. I know I had to exaggerate a little bit, but it was like that was my main thing was like I was avoiding him last year. Like I was definitely not taking him 101 last year. Like I was just like I don't see it. He's good and stuff, but like he's just not that RB1 overall, just in my opinion. So sorry to keep going, beating a dead horse there with JT, but that'll ran that out. Go ahead.
We got Perry going. What up, Mike? What up, Perry? How you doing, man? How's it going, Perry? How do you guys feel about Adams, Kenneth Walker for Keenan Allen, Tony Pollard, or Adams Walker for Ahmad Mixon? Y'all are the man. I appreciate it.
We're the men. We're the men's. We're the mans. Too bad we didn't have Manscaped sponsor. We could have flipped that in there for you.
Man, if I went to the expo and they were there, I would have gotten it.
All right. We'll work on it. All right. So you got on this one, man. Which side do you lean? And I'll let you answer first since he asked you. He said, hey, what up, Mike? He didn't say what up, Rasta. What up, Ant? He said, what up, Mike? Perry's from your Sunday show, huh?
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Appreciate you watching us here, Perry. See, I'm trying to buy you some time as you think about it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
Oof, this is a tough one. I probably would do it for. I would probably do the first one. No, maybe no. I'd do it for the second one. Actually,
it's a tough one because it's like you're.
One. I want to do the first. Nope, I'm doing the first one.
So you'd rather have Allen and Pollard over Adams and Walker? Like you're not considering just keeping Adams and Walker?
No, it would be Keenan Allen and Tony Pollard or Amon-Ra and Mixon. And I like the Keenan Allen Pollard side comparatively. Like I'd rather have that side than the other side.
You have the option to stay though, right? Can I take the Adams and Kenneth Walker side, or are you just out on Adams and Kenneth Walker, Perry?
I'm not out on them. I just, No,
I was talking to Perry. I'm saying is Perry.
Oh, okay.
So let's say these were just three options. Like you could either have Adams and Walker, Allen and Pollard, or Amon-Ra and Mixon.
He has Adams and Walker already.
Yeah, you don't get what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he could just stay and not accept or make the trade.
Yeah, I mean
that's what I'm saying. So you have three options technically, right? From our opinion. Sure. So are you Adams and Walker, Allen or Pollard, or Amon-Ra and Mixon?
I like the Allen and Pollard. It's just screaming at me.
Yeah, if it's full PPR, take Amon-Ra and Mixon.
Yeah,
just because they're Amon-Ra is basically the number one target getter on that offense. Even when Williams come back, Amon-Ra shouldn't be affected. And Mixon has no competing back. Doesn't sound like there may be legal issues or anything to deal with there as far as him missing time. He's healthy. There's no top offense. They're going to score points.
There's no one behind Pollard either.
Yeah, but Allen has the injury. But it's not just Pollard. Like it's not just Pollard. It's Allen who has injury risk. He's part of a good offense, but he's older. He has injury risk. I'll take the young Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I'll take the 26-year-old Mixon. That's just my opinion. That's okay. You don't have to agree with me.
I don't agree. If it's
you
PPR,
can completely disagree.
If it's full PPR, I'm going Keenan Allen and Tony Pollard without even blinking twice.
Go right ahead. And when Allen gets hurt, and I drafted Allen.
That's fine.
But when he gets hurt, that's why I drafted QJ.
Understood.
like later.
Well, that's another one of our conversations that we can have, because there was another.
You see
another
that?
bit
You
of
see
news
how I did
I
that?
like that. Good for you, Rasta.
I was looking at the
So-
show sheet.
So recently today, actually, we got news that Joshua Palmer will be the Chargers wide receiver 3 to start the season. Now, that's a big deal because, of course, as we just, were discussing, Quentin Johnston got drafted this year as their, rookie wide receiver. And he, in most drafts, tends to go. I mean, he went in the 9th round here. So, I
909.
mean, it really it's tough, to be really fair. So for me, are you going to continue to draft him in redraft higher than someone like Joshua Palmer? Because I understand that throughout the year there could be change and so on and so forth, but is it really worth getting him now?
Is that rhetorical, or are you actually asking me that?
I'm going to ask you, but I already know it's kind of rhetorical based on how you are towards him. Like, I know that you're high on him. So I'm curious.
I think my answer will surprise you.
Interesting. Okay.
So to me, I'm still drafting QJ because, again, I'm thinking QJ, where you're drafting him, I'm normally have my wide receiver set. So when I'm looking to fill out my bench, I'm looking to draft lotto tickets. I'm not looking to draft guys like Thielen. I'm looking to draft guys like Dotson. Maybe even Pickens, even though I'm not great on Pickens, but a similar type guy.
Okay.
I'm looking for these lotto ticket guys that can pop, like the OBJs, like the Amon-Ra's, like the Christian Watsons. So to me, that's what I'm looking for.
Overrated bum. Look at Jeezy.
Yeah, Jeezy, he's just trying to get me riled up. I'm not gonna pay him no mind on that. But again, it's a lotto ticket. Sometimes you scratch that lotto ticket off and it's a loser and you got to just turn it back in. But it's all good. There we go. Hey, it's all good. I'll take it. I love Jay-Z, man. That's my guy.
I am at Rasta.
Absolutely. Hey, and I did see your text, man, and that was brutal. I won't call you out on it yet, but yeah, that was brutal. What you were saying. But yeah, so to me, like, again, that's what I'm trying to fill my bench with, guys. Because to me, the worst thing you can do is, and I'm sure we've all been there, week 2 comes around, you got the hot waiver wire picks coming out, but then you have these guys on your bench that you're like, well, they're still kind of valuable. You got the guys like Adam Thielen that are there, or, whoever the case may be, right? Like, they're there. They don't really have a crazy ceiling, but they have a decent floor. So you don't really want to drop them because it could benefit somebody else's team. So, like, I just don't, but is it really worth picking up this hot new guy off the waiver wire, right? I don't like being in that situation. I either want somebody on my bench that I know is for sure a drop, or I'm holding on to him because of the potential ceiling. To me, I'm holding on to QJ again late because, again, that's what I'm filling my bench with, but that's only because I have starters up top that I know I'm comfortable with. So again, it just comes with the way you build your teams. With my Hero RB teams, QJ goes in the rounds that fit that build I'm looking for, has the type of upside I'm looking for. Again, he's playing behind guys that have an injury history, even though, Dem Boys here says Allen was hurt all last year, but he was pretty reliable prior to that. But again, older guy coming to age, takes longer to recover. We all know that. You see the hair here is lacking. It's a little bit harder to wake up in the morning, guys, when you get here to this age. So I can't imagine being an all-pro athlete. Like, it's just like, hey, it's a little tough to kind of get that going, or your body's not recovering as quickly when you do get little nicks. So to me, again, being attached to somebody like Justin Herbert in that offense, playing on the West Coast, playing in a dome, several games in a dome, over the course of this year, fantastic playoff record. Or playoff record, fantastic playoff schedule, weeks 15, 16, 17. And again, these are when those guys like Christian Watson, OBJ, Amon-Ra St. Brown, they pop at the second half of the year. And what ends up happening, these guys end up getting dropped early because guys got to fill bye weeks and do this and that. And then they end up, picking up at the end of the year. So if you want to be the guy that waits and drafts the Adam Thielen and then waits for someone like me to drop QJ because I get fed up, although I don't get fed up because I know what I'm doing and why I did it. So I'm not going to just drop him after 2 weeks. I understand he's not going to produce early because Josh Palmer is the wide receiver 3. But again, he's a rookie. It's going to take time for him to get going. Again, just like Watson, just like all these guys, Olave, Devonta Smith, Jamar Chase. Well, Jamar Chase kind of just came out on fire, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like that's what you're looking for, and that's what I'm looking for when I'm filling out guys on my bench.
Okay.
Sorry to go on that long tirade there. Thanks for giving
No,
me the
you're
floor
good.
for a second.
Oh, of course.
Got a couple drinks in me. We're feeling good tonight.
For me, it's not I've been, I wouldn't say avoiding him, but he never turns out in the value that I want. It's usually like my wide receiver 3 or my 4, or, and I just don't feel comfortable at it. At that point, I kind of just move on and I'll go to a different route. And normally around the time he's going, like in this round, it's around, round 9. I'm looking for my, my quarterback or my, my tight end or anything like that. So for me, I just usually tend to avoid him. Now with the news, I understand that eventually that could change. Maybe it's going to be Joshua Palmer being, wide receiver 1 in 3-4 weeks. Like we don't know. And like we said last year, that ended up happening at one point. So I understand it completely, and you make complete sense. It's one of those things where I'm going to avoid, let someone else deal with it at this point. I'd rather know and go with things that I know for sure. That's just always how I've been anyway. So the little bit of news, the good news, we'll say on here that we got as well. TJ Hawkinson just got paid.
Pay the man.
Bag. He got a 4-year, $68 million contract with $42 million.
And they can't pay JT?
Well, that's been the
JT can't get paid? Man.
It averages $17.125 million a year, makes him the highest paid tight end in history.
Over Travis Kelce? He's making more than Kelce?
Yeah, he's number one, man. Number one. Crazy. And Ryan Johnston, thank you for the draft. Of course, that's what we're here for. I hope you guys did well with your teams.
Is Ryan who's Ryan? Is he
Ryan would be
Cherry Poppins or Uno Gas?
I think it's Uno Gas. I could be wrong. Or it could be Josh. I could be wrong. But it's definitely.
Well, I would assume Josh is Josh and not a Ryan, right?
True.
So it has to be Uno Gas, possibly.
Never know. But yes.
I have to go back and watch the other episode. He told us last time. Maybe he'll tell us again.
He will. I have no doubt. But I'm looking over these teams. These teams look strong. I like what you guys are doing. Remember, this is going to be played out as a best ball. So make sure I have no doubt there's a bunch of 2, 3. I see a bunch of 2s and 3s with QBs and tight ends all over the place. So I'm loving what I see here. We're almost at Mr. Irrelevant at this point. We have Jeezy going with his last pick at the moment, which should be, well, it won't be Quentin Johnson because he's already.
Yeah, which means we're about to bring our reigning champ in here soon.
Ooh,
I hope he's ready. I see him in the green room.
Yes.
Hope you're ready, Junior. We're going to get you going here soon, my friend. So just kind of looking over this, man, real quick, just kind of peeping it a little bit here.
Yeah.
I kind of like what Nick Rock was doing, man. I mean, obviously we saw the kind of auto pick happen here with Austin Eckler grabbing McCaffrey at the 102. So maybe Chase doesn't fall that far, but Wilson passed on him at the 103. Yeah. So you got Chase, Waddle, Devonta Smith out the gate. And then Justin Fields still gets J.K. Dobbins and Demon as his running backs, grabs Pitt, and then A.J. Dillon as RB3, grabs Burks, and then Tuez as as QB2, Schultz, and then grabs Mingo, Myers. The wide receivers kind of fall off a little bit after that. I'd like to see a couple, like instead of Pitts, I think, going another wide receiver there would have been good, whether it was like a JSN, Addison, someone like that possibly instead of that Pitts pick, but I could see why he still went for it. Or even here at this Dillon pick as well. Could have been a couple guys, maybe. I don't really like kind of that range where Dillon went, but yeah, there's just, but right out of the gate, man, that Chase, Waddle, Smith, Fields, Dobbins, Demont, and Pitts as the starting lineup. That's kind of nasty, Nick Rock. I like what you did there at the 104.
Yeah, I like Austin. I was looking at Austin Eckler's team. I kind of liked it. A couple picks in there I don't like, but I like a good portion of the team. I don't mind Wilson's, of course. He knows what we like. So, but he drafted the way he likes to. I mean, honestly, this is not a bad build at all. Everybody
he's a heavy
has.
RB guy.
Yeah, I mean, so am I. I mean, I always like going heavy RB in most situations. I like Jeezy's team. with everybody on here except for his Michael Thomas Bateman at the bottom. Let's see who. Oh, Joshua Kelly as the Mr. Irrelevant. I like it a lot. I am advocating for him to. I'm surprised he isn't been drafted earlier. The guy goes basically for free. He will be sharing carries with Austin Eckler. They did it all year last year. I mean, I know it's a 60-40 split, but that 60-40, the 40 that Joshua Kelly got was pretty productive. And if Austin gets hurt, I mean, you got an RB1 right there. He's the clear handcuff.
Yeah, that Chubbs Jacobs out of the gate for Jeezy, and then getting Ridley, London, Evans still. Yeah. That's pretty nasty.
Oh, that I love the whole thing. I mean, I like every one of his running backs for the most part, except for Foreman. I really do like the quarterbacks with Watson, Howell, and Ritter. I don't mind the tight ends with Conklin and Otten at the bottom with Ingram up top. I mean, this is a pretty solid squad. I'm pretty, these guys are the best of the best. So I know that they did really well trying to figure out who they wanted for their teams. I like JWNs as well. I thought he did pretty well with a lot of his picks. Has a lot of guys that I go for: Burrow, Goff, Laporta, Robinson, Pollard, all those guys. A little weak at wide receiver, but I think he'll make it up for. Guys like Van Jefferson and KJ Osborne, I think are great picks as well. Really, I mean, these guys did great. So good luck to everybody in this best ball draft. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and I really do appreciate everybody's time that they put in. I know everybody's been here for the whole month drafting with us in one way or another, trying to get their team ready for today. So thank you guys for, being a part of this. And, I wish you guys a ton of luck going forward. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I echo everything Classic was saying there. Just really appreciate everybody for supporting us with this mock draft tournament. It's been a lot of fun, to run this thing here in August and take us all the way through to kickoff time, kind of helps fill the time. Yes. Something to look forward to. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and hopefully being a part of that allowed you guys to basically slay your home league drafts, or the drafts that you're, really a part of for your leagues. And that's what it's mainly for. It's just to get that practice in, to be with a good group of guys that know what they're doing. So when you come into your real drafts, you'll be able to, it'll feel like taking candy from a baby at that point. So well done. And I got to point out our boy Tim here at the 109 with the Barkley Amon Ra.
Oh, yeah.
Najee's kind of the pick, but I know you like Najee. I love like Cooper. Najee. Goes Kittle, Sanders, McLaurin, which but then gets Addison, QJ there. Rashad Penny's but still gets Cousins here late. I think Dell, filling out the bench pretty well there. But I think he had a nice score. Like you said, a lot of good teams. Cherry Poppins, Diggs, Adams, Mixon goes on an RB run right there. I mean,
these are all
pretty decent teams. Yeah,
it gave me a minute to actually look at everything and be like, and actually diagnose it for a minute and be like, oh, I love this and that, and give it a minute like we did when we ranked them. I mean,
right.
This would be really tough.
Uno Goss with Andrews and Jackson getting that stack on the turn with Henry, who I love because he gets Houston twice in the playoffs, and AJ Brown here with Ayuk, and Williams a little slacking at wide receiver, but basically solid everywhere else.
Yeah,
Gibson, Herbert. Yeah, I mean, just gets the triple stack there with OBJ. I maybe would have waited for Bateman a little bit later. Grabs my boy Justin Ross a little early, but I love it.
Yeah,
it's my guy. Gets him in the 13th over here. So yeah, man, a lot of good teams. JWN, Bijan, Pollard, like you said, we already talked about that one. Yeah, man, you guys did really good. Fanta here with the Kelsey build going Wilson, Stevens, Hopkins, Madison, Pickens, Kamara, Judy.
They're going heavy at
chain
in the middle. I love it.
Yeah, and that's what you kind of got to do. If you go late, you kind of got to get 3. Yep. You guys will see. When you start doing best ball, you're gonna get the different builds. You'll hear like 3, 7, or I'm sorry, it goes running back. So like 3, 4, or 5. 3, 5, 2, or 2, 5, 7, 2, or 2, 5, 7, 3. These are all
I've
just
heard a lot going 3 tight end too.
Yeah, but you don't want to go 3 and 3. You don't want to go three
No.
quarterback, 3 tight
Oh,
end.
God, no, don't do that.
You want to go one or the other. Again, it just depends. If you take 2 early tight ends, you're good with just 2. Get like a Goddard or maybe somebody else a little bit later. But if you push it, then you want to get 3, but get your quarterbacks early so you only have to roster 2. A lot of best ball stuff, and I'm sure next offseason we'll get it, a little more heavy into the best ball for you guys. But we mainly like to try to focus on that redraft for you guys leading up. So here we go. So anything else you want to point out here on the draft, or you want to?
I think we're.
You want to get our reigning champion brought in here pretty soon.
Yeah, let's get him in here.
All right. So let's say it like this, man. So last year, of course, for those of you guys who don't know, of course, we've been running our listener league here since we started this channel. To get in the listener league, you basically gotta help us get subscribers, be a part of it. We'll do different contests. Maybe you're watching, whatever it is, to get your entry in there. We then run a race or do like a random pool or drawing. Last year, not only did our one and only Dim Boys, our first ever subscriber, make it in, but his son, Dim Boys Jr., made it in as well. So we had a little father-son combination in there. Didn't get off to a great start. This kid did, playing with a bunch of sharks, man. At one point, even Classic Mike, the guy sitting here to my left, allowed this kid to set the lineup against him because Classic was undefeated at the time.
Yeah.
And this man was so good last year. He basically not only beat everybody, but ended up even beating himself by setting a lineup that still beat him in there. Was battling again in this Superflex league. Had to had injuries. He was basically, he took over my roster reaper, basically my moniker there. Any quarterback he touched kind of turned to glass, but ended up pulling it all together at the end, man. Kid made a run towards the end of it. And the best part about it was he ended up playing against his dad in the final. So Dim Boys Senior, Dim Boys Junior, ended up going into the championship round, man. It was no holds barred. And of course the victor, because by this time, of course, all of the rest of us in the league were all rooting for this kid to beat his own dad, of course, because we knew in that household he would never hear it down. And so he ended up winning it, man. Let's bring in the reigning champ of the Get Right Fantasy Listener League, Mr. Dim Boys Jr. How's it going, little man? How you doing?
It's good.
You're a hey,
there he is. What's up, man? So behind the screen name, this is the kid that did it. So congratulations, man. We've been talking about you here all off season. Of course, doing us a favor by taking your dad down in the championship. Just tell us in your own words, man, what you thought about being in the league last year, going to go up against all these grown-ups, guys like me and Classic Mike, who have this show that help people win leagues all year long, and you take us down. How did that feel, man? Tell us what you thought.
Well, I know one thing coming into it, I felt like the underdog in the league.
Okay.
There you go.
Championship, I knew my dad and me have won once in that season. Whoever won the championship won the whole thing in between me and him and the league.
Well,
there it is.
You ended up winning it all, and that is all that matters. Do you still rub it in your dad's face every so often?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would. I rub it in his face, and I didn't even beat him.
Yeah. I do it to my dad still. I beat him in DFS weeks, and I go, ha, gotcha. Like, come on, you got it. That you definitely have to. So
absolutely.
This year, he gets a free seat back into our listener league. He got the draft this year. We're going to bring up the board real quick. We're going to show your particular roster and the team that you drafted right up here. So you ended up getting a really interesting spot. You got the 107, which was right sandwiched between me and Rasta. And how did that make you feel when you got into this? And then we had everything set up. We We had the 100-yard, dash and everything, and then all of a sudden, you're right between us. How did you feel at that point?
Well, like my dad said, I knew once he told me I had the worst spot in the draft.
Well, you know what? I will say you did a fantastic job with your team, and on top of that, you sniped me at least twice. So believe me, it was not easy for us as well. So with your team, what do you feel like you had as probably your favorite pick or your best pick in this draft?
Probably Joe Burrow.
Let's go.
Was it because that was the snipe pick from me?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Come on. It was brutal. When it
Big
happened,
props to Junior right there for that, man. I was so happy. You got Mike on tilt right out of the gate.
Oh, I was
messed
so
up his
mad.
whole draft from there.
Oh, I messed up the whole thing. I had it. I'm like, I did this 100. I'm like, oh, I know I can do well here. I drafted from this spot for all year long. And he kept going. And I knew Rasta wasn't. And then I'm like, oh, no. Damn boys, don't you dare. Don't you dare. And he did. And you know what? It's fine. I went with with T-Law. I'm fine. I have a backup plan because I tell everybody when you do this, you need to stay fluid. You need to stay at a point where things like this happen. And this is why you got to stay fluid. Now, you ended up going Tua Tagovailoa again. Do you feel comfortable with that pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, you still feel like he's going to do well this season?
Yeah, I just knew I had to get him again.
Okay. Are you a little nervous?
That's loyalty right there. I love it, Junior. I love it. He brought you the championship last year. You got to have it.
Okay.
He's probably one of my best players last year.
Okay.
Let's go.
Fair enough. And you ended up going with Jalen Waddle right after that to go grab your stack. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, I was actually at that pick. You made me smile because you let me get T. Higgins at that point. And then that's where the whole thing just went, because I had the opportunity to get my stack that I wanted. And I didn't, you stole that from me, and that hurt. That hurt deep down very much. So instead,
well done, Junior.
Well done. Instead, I ended up going with the Lawrence and Calvin Ridley stack. And then I ended up saying, screw it, I'm going to go with Evan Ingram on top of that. So you know what? At that point, you made me just go all in on the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is fine. So
you see how you ruined his draft right there? You basically just took Classic Mike right out of the league by making him get three players on the same time.
Oh,
well done.
Come on. I shouldn't be the target here.
Well done.
No, it was fine. But now I want to ask how you feel about Marquez Brown, Mr. Hollywood himself. How do you feel about that pick?
I really don't know.
You don't know?
My dad was like, "Oh, you're up," and I knew I needed a wide receiver.
Okay, all right.
There we go.
Fair
kind
enough.
of best available. Just go with a guy. He should get volume, but it just depends on what the efficiency is going to be. Obviously, getting passes from who knows who. It's either going to be Josh Dobbs or Clayton Tune at this point. Obviously, with them releasing Colt McCoy.
That hurt too.
But you got my boy Brandon Ayuk right before that in the round before. As a big-time Niners fan over here, and you being a Cowboys fan, of course, them boys junior. So that's pretty much a given. Obviously, my Niners have ended your guys' season the last 2 years, which I had to throw that out. So it's I just really appreciate that respect and understanding and seeing the talent there with Mr. Brandon Ayuk. He is going to be a free agent next year. Would you mind if your Cowboys went after Ayuk next year?
I would like that. He is a good player.
There we go. Now, did we have Dimboys, Mrs. Dimboys in the chat? Did I just see Mrs. Dimboys? It's a family affair over here.
So she goes, Dimboys Jr. is 11, just so everyone knows, our 10.
So there you go, man. Again, we all got beat by him.
Our 10-year-old beat all you guys last year.
Exactly. Took us to the ringer.
Yes.
Took us through the ringer.
You can tell he's
Absolutely.
his father's son. I love it. Love hearing it. Love seeing it. Now,
Love it.
I
Love
have
it.
to ask you this question because this recently happened. You had Trey Lance get traded to you guys. You guys went out and grabbed Trey Lance from Rasta in the 49ers. Do you feel okay with that? Like, were you happy with that?
Yeah, I know he's a good player. Once my dad told me why they did it, and once he gets like a few years, he's gonna have his potential.
Oh, okay.
After
So
Dak.
I was going to
There
say,
we go.
do you think he should be starting over Dak?
Not right now.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Look at, and this is why he beat us. You see what this kid knows?
It's so solid. I love it.
Can you imagine if I've been playing fantasy for this long? Like, I didn't even start playing fantasy until I was like in my 20s.
Oh,
And this
Especially
kid is
after-
just on it.
Lance's injury.
okay. All right. Fair enough.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good stuff. So what else you got? I know you had a couple other questions there, Mike. Did you get through them there?
I think I got through most of them, but I mean,
Okay.
I'm really
I had a question.
okay. Go
I
for it.
have to ask you, Junior, what's with the Breece Hall pick, man? What do you see there with Breece Hall that I'm not seeing? Coming off an ACL injury, we know guys like Saquon, which you know Saquon very closely, being in that division, coming off an ACL, not great. Everybody else coming off an ACL hasn't been great, but we do know his potential is electric. The ceiling is high. So were you just hoping by the end of the year this guy is what he was before he got hurt?
Yeah, I looked at his stats. It was pretty good.
Okay. Fair
There
enough.
it is.
I like
See?
it. And hey, you got him for a steal. You got him after guys that normally he would. I mean, at that point, I'm really just surprised he even got to the 6th round, even for a super flex league. I feel like he would have gone earlier, or at least someone would through. I thought Rasta would definitely pick him up in the 5th round. So for me, I mean, you got him for a real steal at that point at the 6th pick for you. So good for you on that. That's really good value. You have Penny in there as well. And one guy that we were talking about before, Raheem Mostert. I mean, are you thrilled that you now have a guy that is going to be a starting running back that is just kind of sitting on your bench anytime you need him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially that he's on Miami with Tua and Waddle.
Oh, there you go.
I think Dem Boys Jr. might be a Miami
Yeah.
Boys Jr. here at the end of this.
Fan.
Hey, senior, I
More
know you're
Kyrie
watching.
fan.
Oh, okay. So, hey, Dem Boys, you better keep the rein on him
Yeah.
because this sounds like he might switch over to Miami. Because
Yeah.
my son is a Denver Broncos fan somehow. My other son was a Cowboys fan, but I was able to convert him over to the Niners because I told him I was only going to buy him, Niner gear. So he kind of switched over because I wasn't buying any Cowboys anything. And so yeah, I know how it goes when you have a split household, but I know your dad always says if you don't like the Cowboys, then you're going to have to find somewhere else to sleep at night, right?
Yeah.
Just such an innocent yes. I love it.
He's like, yeah, he knows how that goes. He likes the bed he's sleeping in. So well done.
And he had to grab Michael Gallup too, just to make sure that he had at least one Cowboy on his team, so that
There you
he could
go.
be like, "Hey, Dad, I have a Cowboy." And wait,
Right.
I'm trying to see the jersey. Is that 13 or 11?
11.
Oh, for Micah Parsons, huh? Okay.
Micah in the
Micah,
house. That's the
whatever.
guy
Favorite
right there.
Cowboy
He's
There
your
you
favorite
go.
Cowboy.
right now. It used to be Zeke, but he left.
Oh,
fair enough. That would be the
dang.
next question. Okay. Well,
There
you know
you go.
what? You guys stole him from us. You took him away from the Giants. I was a little disappointed, but it was because of the Giants, and it's fine. It's fine. Everything's going to be okay.
Very
But
cool.
still, yeah, no, that's awesome. He's one of the best D linemen in the league, and he will do very well moving forward. I know I can connect with you on that. My favorite football player of all time is Lawrence Taylor. So for me, it is, and it's not just because he's a Giants. I mean, that's a huge thing, but he was a dominant force and changed the game. So Parsons could be that.
He doesn't know who Lawrence Taylor is. Maybe I don't know. I don't think he's old enough for
Lawrence
that.
Taylor is. Do you
I don't know
who
if he's
Lawrence
old-
Taylor is?
Think?
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
I was gonna say like he hasn't even seen the Water Boy, so like I don't know if he knows who
I
LT
have.
is yet.
I'm pretty
Oh
sure
yeah.
it's
Oh
Water Boy.
okay.
You remember you
Okay.
remember the guy with the earring that he's sitting in front of people and he's like, so what do you do?
Careful.
Yeah. I know where I'm going here. And then he's like, don't smoke crack. Like, do you remember that part?
Specifically said not to say that.
Nah, it's fine. The Porsche, the whole deal.
Oh man,
You stole
classic.
the red Porsche. No, all right. Anyway, ask your dad one day, hey, I want to watch some tape on Lawrence Taylor, and you will see some of the best defensive play you have ever seen in your life.
Just tell him, say whatever. Say okay, classic. All right, that's
I'm
fine.
being serious. I want you
can
to
go
ask
ask
your
him
dad.
tonight.
You should.
There you go.
Ask him
Tell
to
him
go
to-
watch some LT footage.
Tell him to pull up those YouTube videos. Dimboy Senior's in the chat here saying, "Yep, he can root for whoever he wants, but if it's not Dallas, he has to sleep outside."
Hey, just get a really nice tent, and you can sleep anywhere you want. It's fine.
Right? They have like double tents nowadays.
Yeah,
so there you go.
See,
All right,
you
so
gotta
he said
show-
I'll show him
Sleep in
some.
my camper out front.
There
Oh,
you go.
even better. There you go.
There
But
it is.
definitely show him some LT highlights. It will make you appreciate Micah Parsons as well. I mean, a lot of people compare the two, and he's all over the field like Lawrence is, and I wouldn't go as far to show him like the LT documentary, because that thing is, I love that documentary, but I think it might be a little
Inappropriate.
You need to wait a few years for the documentary, but I would definitely watch his highlights. He is an animal, and he changed the whole game and the way that it's played, because now you have left tackles that are out there. Whoa. No. Hold on. I'm sorry. Ethan, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I can't
Ethan.
let this stand. I'm sorry.
Ethan, you opened up Pandora's box now.
Kid. The only LT out there, and the only LT that should ever live, is Lawrence Taylor. It is never going. I understand that they have the same initials. I understand, but unfortunately, we no. LT right here. This little guy right here.
Oh.
This is the guy. I'm telling you right now, I have it. I have everything you could possibly imagine with LT's name on it. This guy.
Look at that. Within
I have
arm's distance at that, guys.
it's
Within
on my
arm's
desk.
distance.
I have a picture signed by LT. Like, I have everything LT. This guy was
There you
one
go.
of my favorites. It is.
Even Dim Boys isn't agreeing with you. That's a
Yeah.
little sacrilegious there, Ethan.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Ethan? Appreciate you coming and checking out the stream, buddy.
Yes,
Always
sir.
love it when you get in here. My boy Ethan here got me into my first auction league, man. I've been
cool.
trying to get into an auction league forever.
Awesome.
We drafted this weekend on Sunday. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Love
leagues
auction
are-
leagues. If you guys haven't done them, man, make sure you check them out. I highly advise getting in one. Great group of guys over there. Auction leads are the next thing. Junior will be slaying it in auction leagues by the time he's
Yeah,
our
you gotta-
age.
I'm
He's gonna know
say-
everything. He's
I'm
gonna
gonna
just
say-
take over Get Right. It'll be him here in 20 years on Get Right,
There
running
you
the
go.
show.
And I love hearing that. But I would wait on those. Give yourself a little bit of time. Enjoy redraft and dynasties and all those things. Wait for auction when you get a little older. It's a little more, you can appreciate it a little bit more when you get a little older, because you can understand a little bit more about what it's about and how fun it is. Yeah, you'll love it when you get a little bit older, I promise.
I
but
don't think he needs it. The new generation is here. Classic. He beat all of us last year. He's ready for everything.
he did.
Let's go.
And I still tell people that, and I still get laughed at.
Love it. Yeah,
But
I
I-
know. It's
but I will
definitely
say-
a low mark in my career.
Oh, it's a low mark, but I have the
Dim Boys, you're
highlight.
on my fantasy resume, just not a highlight. It's a low light, but you're there.
But I have the one part of my resume where I have somebody setting my lineup for me and me winning. So I'm happy with that. And I'm
Yeah.
glad that I could take something from the show, The League, and have it actually work in my favor. So
There you go. And then he just went on to win the whole league from there, so it's okay.
Oh, and Neanderthal, anytime
We're fighting over it. My bad. I even waited and paused, and then we both. Yeah, it's okay. It's up now. Go ahead.
I am always a little kid when I talk about Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor is probably one of my favorite ever, like football players ever. We did a poll on our on Twitter, and I asked people the best defensive player ever, and the choices were LT and then anybody else. It didn't matter who it was. Anybody else. He won 64%, I think, was the final number, 68%.
And if you lost that bet, Classic Mike was going to gritty for us, and we still lost. I think if we had with our following now, you might be doing the gritty now. We were a little early. It was a little early on back then, but with our viewership now, you might have been doing the gritty Classic. But maybe we'll say we can do the gritty for you. If we hit 1,000 subscribers, maybe we'll all gritty for 1,000 subscribers.
Well, maybe we'll see. Anyway, so Junior,
answer a question for us.
I want you to answer a question, and I want you to kind of take a second to think about it because it's going to pop up real quick. You'll see it right here. It's what wide receiver would you trade Rashid White for?
Rashad, but it's okay.
Rashad, whatever.
It's Rashid Shaheed. The New Orleans wide receiver. This is Rashad White, the Tampa Bay running back.
Correct. Who would you feel comfortable with?
That's a tough question.
It is a tough question.
Shazu,
I'm thinking about it.
Who are your options? Because, of course,
he might be looking. He might be just looking to trade him away.
Yeah. So let's see. We have let's find out where Rashad White went here in this.
So in our draft, he went in the 7th round. He went around Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, Pickens, Williams, Watson, Flowers, Deontay, Ayuk, Hollywood, Kirk, Addison, JSN, Pittman, Dotson, Godwin. I know my answer, but I'm going to wait for Junior to kind of get an idea.
I really don't know.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
So for me, it would probably be Christian Kirk. That's about the range I would feel comfortable in. Maybe Michael Pittman-ish, like right around that.
Oh, there we go. He gave us a little better one. So Mike Williams or Rashad White? Who would you rather have, Junior?
Smash accept.
I think I would take Williams.
I'm taking Williams.
You guys going Williams?
Smashing accept to get White.
I'm going to go against the grain, man. And that's only because shout out to Scott Fishbowl 13, Rashad White, my RB2 with Derrick Henry. I call him Baby Henry because he stiff arms fools just like Henry does.
Yeah.
That's my guy. I like Rashad this year. Obviously, some potential downside there. Mike Williams doesn't do it for me as much. But if I could swing, Christian Kirk, JSN, Jahan Dotson for Rashad White, I would do that in a heartbeat. Maybe Addison, possibly, but yeah, Mike Williams again went after Rashad White here. Pickens went after him. Evans. So I'll rapid fire you here, Classic, since you're a little newer, and we'll get Junior after this. But
so he goes.
We got some additional.
No, you're good. So my running back core is Connors, Henry, Barkley. Wide receivers are Terry, DJ Moore, Michael Thomas, and a 12-man. QB is Lamar. So he's
good running backs.
So he got So basically, he's looking to upgrade his wide receivers because of that. So you know what? I understand the move. I would be okay with that based on that. Now that I see your team.
Yeah, let me get Kirk for White right there if you needed to do that.
Well, no, in this case, he got offered Williams straight up for White. I would do that. I would be okay with Williams being as my, in this case, wide receiver 3-ish. So I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I think I'd like Williams a little more than Michael Thomas to slip in there. And obviously, with Rashad White being his RB4, he's, technically RB3. I kind of have White ahead of Connor. But then Connor would slip into your RB3, which I'm still okay with. Yeah. So I might make that trade.
Yeah.
I would try to go get Kirk first, but then I'd go get him.
Agreed. So then Uno Gas goes, I just traded White and Deontay Johnson for Waddle in one of my leagues. So that's about a good price for Waddle, I think. I think it's fair value.
Yeah, that's your classic 2-for-1 upgrade. Well done.
Good, good upgrade.
Very good.
All right.
So yeah.
My last question. How confident do you feel this year?
You feel like you can go back to back?
I would like to do that.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
There you go. See, he's humble. I like that.
I don't know if I will do it, though.
That's okay. And you know what? We're rooting for you either way. Well, until I face
I'm rooting for myself first, of course. But then I'm rooting for Junior after that. So I'm a fan. I'm rooting for you every week that you play to win, except for the weeks that you play me. And that includes any type of playoffs or championships, Junior.
Yeah,
and
I'd love to. If I do make it to championship, I would love to face my dad again.
Oh, that would
be cool.
That would be epic. I don't think that's ever happened.
As much as I don't want your dad to win or even get to the championship, it would be awesome.
Well,
it was kind of like the Harbaugh Bowl.
We have to ask this question. How do you feel about your dad's team? So did you get to see your dad's team yet?
I've looked at it. I did see the tight ends.
Yeah.
That was confusing, but it is the top 2 tight ends.
And then did you notice that his 2 wide receivers ended up getting hurt or that are hurt currently? Where he has
I remember in chat you saying can't remember his name.
Jerry Jeudy just got hurt.
Yeah,
and Terry
Jeudy getting hurt.
Terry McLaurin just got hurt.
And my dad was like, "Oh crap, Jerry Jeudy got hurt."
Yep. So I mean, what do you think about his team?
Stick a fork in him. You could say it.
I think that I could beat him.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
I like it.
Let's go. Absolutely. I love his quote that he said in the chat. He said, "Quote, Dad, stop messing up." Unquote.
It was perfect. All right, good.
Well done, Junior. Appreciate you for joining us, man. Absolutely. So you can hang around here while we sign off. Let's go to the full screen. We'll bring the draft board down here.
You're grounded.
Oh, we grounded him after that. There we go.
You're not.
It's all right. I'll talk to him. I'll get you out of that groundation. Don't worry. Don't worry. Oh, we got Junior coming. There we go. He's grounded for sure.
Grounded. I'm the one who beat you last year.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Shots fired. See, you always have that. He can never take that away from you.
Never take that away.
He can never take it away from you, no matter what.
So you get a great grounded, not me.
Boom. Love it. All right, man. So
we've got to ask. Junior, what did you spend your money on?
Oh yeah, your price. Let's say we gave him Roblox money. I don't know if we can.
Not Roblox. No.
Okay, good.
I think I bought 1 or 2 things on Fortnite, right? Remember, I bought 2 things on Fortnite. Then I bought some games, I think.
Okay.
There we go. Awesome. That's how I would spend the money at that age too, man.
Daddy, why is there a light there?
Good stuff, man.
Good stuff. All right, so no, that was good. That was a good question, Mike. I like that. All right, guys. So just so you guys know, man, if you want to be a champion like our boy Dim Boys Jr. here, make sure you guys go check out TrophySmack.com. When you check out, you can use that promo code GetRight. Get your league a belt, a chain, a ring, one of these items. It just takes your league to the next level. Something they can keep, something people can pass around. It makes people more competitive. Of course, they have your classic trophies that are fully customizable. Check them out. Use that promo code GetRight. The link is in the description. Helps the show out here, so we would definitely appreciate it. Of course, make sure you guys go support our other affiliate channels here. We got your boy Tim, who was in the draft tonight. His partner AJ in crime over there at the Fantasy Frontline podcast. We got Cody McGoats, Shirtless Pat and the fellas over at the Checkdown podcast. And then we got Dim Boy Sr. over here with his new show dropping here soon. The Dead Zone Fantasy Show coming soon to you guys here on Get Right Fantasy Network. All the links are in the description. Make sure you guys go check them out. Go subscribe, help support our other channels here on Get Right as we continue to grow. And other than that, if you guys are interested in either writing, maybe working behind the scenes, maybe you want to start your own show like some of these guys here, hit us up, come talk to me, set up a meeting, we'll chat. We're always looking for help as we continue to grow here. And yeah, we want to hear from you. So come hit me up. getrightff@gmail.com, or you guys can DM me on Sleeper or Twitter or X or whatever they call it nowadays at Rastafarin. Again, links and spellings are all in the description. So with that said, again, Dem Boys Jr., appreciate you coming out, joining us here, man. It was great having you on here on the show. Again, I hope you beat everybody that you play except for me. Whenever that time comes, definitely beat Classic Mike for me when you play him.
Don't play him. No.
Oh, don't play him. Yeah, he doesn't want any of that smoke. Don't worry.
I'm not going to pick your roster this time.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay, see, he's not falling for that. He's not falling for that again.
Now I'm going to beat you.
There we go. See, he wants that W. He doesn't want to see whatever the lineup he puts in are just gold. It just turns the gold. Absolutely, man. So for Dem Boys Jr., man, for Dustin, for Frank, for my guy, my partner in crime here, Mr. Classic Mike, for myself, from all of us here at Get Right Fantasy, man, we appreciate you guys. We will be back. We might take Monday off. It's Labor Day. I'm still deciding what we're going to do. We might be actually streaming one of our new leagues draft, an actual live draft. There's a couple things in the works, but we will be back with our first Wednesday show to get you ready for the Thursday night. We'll do a quick start sit, go over our last minute rankings, and see where we're at. Classic Mike and I will be here on Friday night for our first start sit week 1 episode. So make sure you guys come check us out. Usually at least a 2-hour show. We'll try to keep it to 2. Usually goes to like 3.
Work on it.
And we're really working on keeping it shorter for you guys, but we want to make sure we're answering your questions. Of course, for your start sits, and we go game by game to let you know who we're starting, who we're sitting each week. And then, of course, Frank and I will be back the following Monday for our waiver wire show and our overreaction to the first week, which I can't wait for because that means we will have an entire week 1 under our belts. So football's here. We're almost there, guys. A couple more days. We'll get it. Peace out. Enjoy yourselves. We'll see you guys Monday or Wednesday.
Be safe,
Hit it,
guys.
Classic. Let's get out of here. Thank you, Dem Boys.